emotional reaction. Iran is playing a cold, sober game of chess. They know they can't win a conventional fair fight against the US and its allies. So they've stopped trying. Instead, they are striking the economic engine that allows the West to project power in the first place. They aren't aiming for the soldier, they're aiming for the fuel that moves the tank. But look at the other side. The objectives of Israel and Washington aren't about containment anymore. They've gone maximalist. The goal is the systematic dismantling of Iran as a functioning state. Leadership decapitation, economic choke points, total internal fracture. They want to turn the population against the government until the entire system collapses from within. Here is the terrifying reality. When both sides want everything, there is no off-ramp. There is no negotiation when your opponent's goal is your total erasure. We are now trapped in a structural driver for endless escalation. Not because leaders are crazy, but because their goals are absolute. If one seeks to dismantle the state, and the other seeks to shatter the global economy, compromise isn't just difficult. It's impossible. Another headline or a temporary flare-up. We just witnessed the crossing of the Rubicon, a move that doesn't just reverse itself. For years, the game was predictable. Strike, react, counterstrike, repeat. But last night, the rules were incinerated. Israel didn't just hit military targets. They went for the jugular. They expanded their scope to critical infrastructure, the kind of hits that broadcast one clear message: total war. In Iran, they didn't just send a symbolic warning. They launched a coordinated, surgical strike on the energy backbone of the modern world. The second that line was crossed, this stopped being a regional scrap. It transformed into a global systemic threat. Think about the Gulf. It's not just a patch of desert with oil. It is the physical bedrock of industrial civilization. Your supply chains, your food, your transportation, they all sit on this single foundation. When you crack that foundation, the fallout doesn't stay in the Middle East. It ripples across every ocean and hits every wallet. We've officially moved from a war over territory to a war against the system itself. Now look at how this spiral begins to consume everyone else. The US is trying to manage this from 30,000 feet with precision airstrikes. But air power has a shelf life. Once you hit leadership and infrastructure, you eventually have to put boots on the ground to secure the wreckage. That creates a security perimeter. And that perimeter creates new vulnerabilities that require even more troops to protect. This is how empires get sucked into the long war. Not through one big decision, but 1,000 logical steps. And it's drawing in the neighbors. The Gulf states are currently walking a razor's edge between Washington and Tehran. Then you have Pakistan, a nuclear-armed state sitting right on the periphery. I'm not saying the nukes come out tomorrow. But the mere presence of that capability changes every calculation. Every move is now weighed with a shadow of a mushroom cloud in the background. Don't forget the sea. The global economy breathes through a few narrow maritime choke points. If Iran just interferes with those routes, not even closes them, the world freezes. Shipping rates explode. Insurance premiums skyrocket. Just-in-time supply chains begin to snap. This is the lever Iran is holding, and they are starting to pull. We are now deep in the fog of war. The reports you see are incomplete, the rumors are everywhere. And uncertainty is the ultimate fuel for fear. Governments are making split-second survival moves based on half-truths. But the most dangerous move? The removal of leadership. People think killing a top decision-maker is a win. But in reality, you're just blowing out the candles in a dark room. Leaders, however flawed, are the only ones with the authority to strike a deal. They have a personal stake in surviving. When you remove them, you create a power vacuum. And vacuums aren't filled by moderates. They are filled by the most aggressive, most uncompromising radicals, because those are the only people who survive the chaos. By destroying the leadership, you destroy the very channels through which wars actually end. You aren't just winning a battle, you're burning the exit doors. The off-ramps are vanishing. The communication lines are severed. Infrastructure hits lead to economic pain, which leads to political rage, which leads to more fire. The cycle is spinning faster than anyone can stop it. The question isn't how do we end this anymore. The question is, how far will it go before there's nothing left to burn? Welcome to the architecture of the final conflict.